Okay, today's lesson we're going to be doing the lips. I'm going to show you guys how to map this out and draw from your photograph. So I want you to have your 6B pencil handy. You might need a blending stump. You're definitely going to need your kneaded eraser and a regular eraser and a regular pencil. Okay, so beginning for contour, I want you to use a 5-inch line to go across. Depending on the size you print your photo, this was wallet size print, so I did a 5-inch line, and then it is from the very top of the lip, the highest point, it's 2.5 inches. So from here to the base, 2.5 inches from the top to the base. And then looking at the opening of the lip, if you want to measure where that starts, it's kind of a gray area. Starts, like, if I put this at the top, like 1.25 is where the lip starts there. Okay, so right here, the bottom lip. All right, so I want you to just do the best you can with the photo that you have printed out. Know that the interior of the mouth here, which we're going to adjust as we start shading the positive and negative space, interior of the mouth is curving down, it's not straight. So we're going to focus on that a little bit and see if we can get this to look like a shaded lip, okay? So one thing that we can start with is refining the contour based on the outside of the lip. So I'm going to outline the exterior part, and we want to work slowly and carefully, shading in layers. And we're going to carry this up from like, you know, it could be 8 or 9 right in here, but then it's going to quickly fade up to like a 2.5. And then that is the same tone that is on the actual lip right here. So I want you to start off with this second pocket of the bottom lip. If you go a little bit darker in spots, or just putting in a nice even neutral value, very smooth shading, no scribbling. If your lines are showing, do more layers. If you've got dark spots that are sticking out, just take them out. Okay, and what I want you to really examine here is where does this value fade stop? Now, the area around the lip defines the actual lips, so we have to include that. I am going fast in the video for recording time. You guys can pause this and take your time. So take your time to smooth this out. Okay, so looking at this second half of the lip, notice that there's a little bit of shadow the bottom part of the lip. We don't want to rush these dark areas. We want to slowly work our way up. So we're going to try and put in our nice, even, lightest value. Any dark spots, we're going to go pull them out with a sticky eraser. Now the top lip is much darker than the bottom lip. So let's be honest about the values. We can apply a little bit more pressure here. You're going for smooth and consistent. There's something under there. Watch out for those pencil shavings, they'll get you. Alright, let's keep going. Again, I'm going much faster than I would like to see students going. You can pause this and take your time. Alright, so let's just define a couple things. I'm not quite done here, but I'm just going to come over here and check some things first. Now, this shape right here, around the tooth, we want to make sure that it's correct before we go committing to a really dark value. And then we're not leaving the teeth white. They are going to match the value in the photo there. Which is pretty dark. I might smooth that out with the blending stump. I'm going to try and use it as less as possible. Or as least as possible. So we're looking at positive and negative space here. And we want to make sure that this negative space shape is correct. So keep checking your image. We do lose a little bit of contrast in this gray area here. Some of it comes back with a real subtle highlight that we'll put in last right there. Underneath the lip is a little bit darker than the top of the lip because it curls under. So let's go ahead and darken that. Don't get too carried away. Mine looks really super dark, but it's darker because of the camera. So I'll soften up my shading a little bit. Okay, so I'm looking at this line underneath here. I feel confident about this side. but something over here just feels a little narrow. Remember, the area around the lip is just as important as the lip itself. So let's finish this side up here. So what I'm going to do, if you look at the very border of the top of the lip, the very border is very similar to the skin tone. Oops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do my lightest shading here. And I'm going to go back in and put that highlight. I lost my smooth edge. If you lose the smooth edge of your pencil, it's worth finding. Alright, we're just playing that game of match that value and the shape. I'm going to erase this 2.5, it's in my way. I do need to go in with the sticky eraser. I could have left this there, but I chose to put it in after. Okay, it's just a highlight because the lip curves up. I'm going to continue in the middle here and practice. If you can't get your lightest value, that is most definitely not my lightest value. I'm just going to go put it back in with the sticky eraser, or the kneaded eraser. I keep calling it a sticky eraser. It is a little rough, but we're going to do the best we can, and I would like to use the blending stump. It will darken whatever you've done quite a bit, so you have to be really careful with it. If you have any smudging, be really careful underneath your hand that you're not smudging some of these areas. Okay, so we have some form that needs to happen. I'm going to be really careful about this, so I might have to sticky eraser some of it out. You can do this with your lead pencil. It does not have to be done with the blending stump. I just like this smooth surface that it creates, especially on the teeth. But it can be problematic because it makes things a lot darker in value, so you have to be careful. See how dark that came out? Don't want that. Alright, so there are some really subtle texture lines. I know they're going to come up really dark on your view. I'm drawing them in as light as I can on the camera. The top one's going to be darker. And this is just about it. There's still quite a bit of detail that needs to go in here to even everything out, but as far as shape and most of the values, it's getting there. Just need to polish it up a little bit. You can even go in and add some highlights here. But then we do need to smooth them out. If you have a piece of sandpaper, you can rub off all the extra graphite on your sandpaper so that you don't end up with a really dark blending stump. I'm not using it everywhere, I'm just using it in some places. You know, you want that rough texture in some areas. And looking at our shape, this is extremely pointy, so I wonder if I can fix that. You want it to be more round. If your picture does not look exactly like the one in the photo, as long as you've drawn lips that look like lips, that have, you know, the shadows in the right place, then we're good. All right, we are at 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and stop. I'm not sure if it's quite as complete. I did spend a little bit more time on this particular drawing. So whatever you have at this point, as long as you fulfill the criteria, I don't like a lot of the texture that I have on here, so I will be in class taking time to polish this up. So if you guys are watching live in class, you'll be able to see that some of this is smoothed out a little bit more, hopefully. Okay, so go ahead and upload and put your name on it, and that is it.